Welcome back to Wreck and Rule. My name is Brian. Over here we have
Kevin.
Over here we have
RJ.
Over here we have Joe's younger brother, Giuseppe.
Hey, come sta? Hey, mangia.
So we're doing a Q&A episode today. It's been a little while since we've done that. It's been a couple of months. We are going to answer some of your questions and do our best with it. So first up, Joe, do you want to read this? Is from Caleb, a.k.a. Legendary Void.
What kind of set would you guys like to see in the future? For me, a shattered glass set would be amazing. I would love to see RID, car robots. Rail Racer, yeah. Sideburn, Speedbreaker.
I would like to see more IDW focused stuff from before they did the reboot. Give me Wreckers, give me Decepticon, Justice Division, Scavengers. Give me that type of stuff. RJ?
I won't give you a set. I'll just give you a particular Transformer that we haven't seen yet. Perceptor. I'm really looking forward to eventually.
You're allowed to say pass if you want.
Beast Machines? I'm kidding. No, I mean, Beast Wars would be interesting. You could probably bang them out all in one set.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have the fusers in there. You have the transmetals.
Gross. I'd like to see
You wouldn't
Beast
see
Wars.
Bumblebee, Joe.
You
Somehow
see
I
Cheetor
doubt
instead.
Yeah. Is that any better?
I mean, they could sprinkle Beast Wars into the current sets because they've used them in like the Generations tournament. It's possible. They can do it.
If the Wreck and Roll YouTube channel could form into a combiner, Frenchie would obviously be on top. What would your name be? Bri, you love the...
So we've already made, when they reveal the combiner mechanic, like we showed a quick demo of what it would look like. And we created Wreck King that day. I think he's still on your kitchen table.
He is still on my kitchen table.
If I could add a little bit here. So I
please
thought
don't.
about this when I was like on the drive over here thinking about this question. I misremembered it. I thought they were asking like who would be like which limb and all that type of stuff. So my thinking was this. Ready?
I'll take left arm.
So my thinking was that like Kevin and Frenchie, like they'll do anything for you. They will like bend over backwards. So I think they'd be the legs, right? You can rely on RJ and Kyle, like they're both very competent. I think that they'd be the arms. And then you and
Great.
I.
Here, I can't wait. I can't wait for this one.
So you and I would be like.
I'm like the chess piece that the combiner doesn't play me.
You're like the long haul, like you're the like lower torso / butt.
No, Joe, it's the Power Rangers. You're the pterodactyl that kind of goes onto the
You don't
chest.
really need it there. It just goes there.
You're the heart.
Yes.
Oh, God.
But my original idea was that Joe and I would both be like in the torso, and it would be like Pacific Rim, but rather than like being in sync and working together,
Fighting each other.
to see who could like dominate, basically.
I tune into that show.
This is from, it's either George or Georger? Jorger?
The R is near the E on the keyboard,
Yeah.
Bri.
Maybe not.
Yeah, keyboard.
Let us know if we messed that one up. RJ, can you see the question? Or have you thought
Which version of Soundwave do you think is better?
We'll go to Joe with one first on this one.
I still think the major Soundwave is still slightly better than the
Boombox.
the boombox version, just because of how many attacks with how much pierce you can lay down, and so many attacks you can get in. And I haven't had much success with the boombox version yet. Very disappointed.
RJ?
I'd agree with Joe. I think I'm a little partial to it too because we kind of quote unquote figured it out. So I'm a little biased.
Kev?
Since I have the toy, Major.
I don't have enough experience playing with or against it to give an answer, I don't think.
Question 2.
Oh, sorry. Which version of Soundwave do you like more?
Boombox.
The original boombox.
I like the mechanics more of the cassette player.
I agree. I think it's a cool mechanic. I just want to see maybe we get more cassettes in the future. Would be cool.
Yeah.
And it's a considerably worse mechanic than blasters. I think it's tougher to kind of stay ahead of the curve, hand disruption wise. Yeah, I mean,
It's tough with Cliff Jumper being as ubiquitous
Effective.
as he is.
Yeah.
Like, they have a ton of cards, so like killing their hand is not it slows them down, but they can still get stuff.
You got to work for it.
Right. Blaster's turn 1 is infinitely better than Soundwave's turn 1. You're only putting a card on top of your opponent's deck where you're playing a free card for Blaster, so...
Which could be a grenade launcher.
Right.
Next up, we have Nick. So Nick is asking, he says his state has an oversaturation of stores, so each one was able to hold an EIQ, but the turnout was low at each one, 4 to 5 players. Is it better to have a lot of events with a low player count, or to limit the number of events for a better or possibly larger turnout? So I guess a comparison that we could maybe make is to Destiny or like X-Wing, where the way that FFG does it is they have something called Store Championships, or they used to. They've changed the names by now. And that's a little bit of a smaller tier event.
Hyperspace Trials.
There you go. But it's something different for Destiny, I think. So each store can hold their own event there, and that gives you a free invite into a regional. Regionals like Northeast might only have 3. You'd have to travel to get to them. So like there's that comparison there. As for which one is better, I think that I like the idea better of a bunch of stores having the option to run it. What I would say you want to do is you want to try to like link up with the stores, get them to space them out if at all possible, and then have some centralized location to share it to your player base. This way they know, but also share it out to other areas too. Like when we had ours, we shared it to Baltimore, we shared it to New York City, North Jersey, the PA guys. Like we sent it out there. People drove 2-3 hours to get there. Joe, thoughts on that?
That's all correct. The only time I'm ever going to say that.
Wow. RJ?
I'd agree. This is my first game like that, so I have no opinion.
Kev?
More events are better. I mean, it gives other players an opportunity to make the cut.
More chances for the invite.
Mm-hmm.
It's also year 1, so like they could also change up how things happen in year 2. Maybe there are 2 Energon Invitationals in a year, possibly.
But you're still not going to stop a store from hosting it if 30 stores all get the free kit. 30 stores are going to host it.
But maybe since it's going in Wizards Event Reporter, like it's possible that maybe the stores that maybe either like they got the kit but didn't run it, or they got the kit but very low turnout, like maybe they won't get the same level of event that they can run. Don't know.
I'm curious to see how they'll, and I think it might help decide it, how they'll handle the Last Chance Invitational. I think the more people they allow in there, the less people that might go out to these events that have to drive further. Because if they're coming to places like PAX or whatever already, why not just go to the Last Chance if they're letting 50 people in?
Because they don't want it to be their last chance.
Right, but...
Why take one chance when you can take 2 chances?
If they're already coming to PAX and this year they let 50 people in, why am I going to go drive 3.5 hours for an event where I have to win?
Get 1 chance.
Right, but I would have to win, or I would have to come in second, or where
right.
I could come in top 50. So that's what I'm saying. I'm curious to see how they would handle that.
Yeah.
Clock is ticking on that.
We'll find out soon.
Hopefully.
Kev, did I throw it to you or no?
Yes.
Okay. Question 2 is, in our opinion, what is the worst super rare so far made and why? And Nick is thinking that super rares can do things that operate outside the main direction of the game, but sometimes have a cool ability in theory that does not maybe work out in application.
So I remember, I forget if maybe we asked the question to Wasi when we interviewed him, but I think they were on record saying super rares have a little more difficult mechanics to grasp than your regular commons or whatever, because they're more difficult to get. So where was I going with that? Yeah. Sometimes I just start talking and I don't know where I'm going to end up. So that's probably why they're not as playable, right?
Worst super rare so far. Worst super rare made. So I don't think that's fair to say, because everyone's going to jump immediately onto Windblade, because one of her sides is immediately blank, because it only applies to just aerial bots that's being run right now, and that's it. And you're not going to... Are you going to sideboard her with a photon bomb to counter that? Is that big of a risk? but she's going to get better the more double pip cards that come out. If you can make that type of mixed deck work well, and then people might not be flipping her all that often to stay on that one bot side. They'll just be like a escape route or a rollout. They'll just do it. Just want her on that one side and try to avoid being in bot mode at all times. So she'll be less susceptible to marksmanship per se. I don't know.
But you can also, as we're moving into Wave 5, like we have a lot of like blue and other pip cards so far. Like you can run blue green, blue black.
They're gonna keep coming out. Yeah,
blue orange.
So she's gonna get stronger over time.
Mm-hmm.
So worst made.
I would say Cog is, as of right now, the toughest to use.
I was going to say, I'm going to rephrase the question.
Rephrase it, not the worst.
Who do you have the most difficult time playing with, or who do you use the
finding
least?
a spot in the deck,
Right.
yes.
Like Cog is at 10 stars. He's tough to partner with people who could effectively like trigger off of his ability. I think maybe with Wave 5 we're gonna see Weaponizer. Sorry, Wave 4.
We're on 4. Yeah.
I'm in the
He
future.
said Wave 5 like earlier. I'm like, wait, what?
Did they say they were going to bring a way to bring weaponizers back?
I think we're gonna see a Weaponizer specific card. At least that was hinted towards in like a
I
round.
feel like that
or
could be
something.
very dangerous with Cog. if you can recur him, that could be abused very easily.
Could be like a
Dangerous.
use that battle card once and then you get rid of it.
But still, the one time, and then you brainstorm and like move them over. You're like drawing cards, playing.
Yeah,
upgrades.
I was going to say, so what is it, just another way to use grenade launcher? But
Obviously,
yeah, I forgot about the
they
draw
must be
card one.
playtesting that at some point if they're going to bring in a card that brings back weaponizers or allows you to manipulate them, or a small amount of weaponizers, not as many like battle masters. Just like so characters will get stronger over time.
Any other tricky SRs you guys want to hit?
I know Blitzwing's been a little tough just because he's in that Decepticon blue, like, just they're suffering right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, Joe feels the pain.
Can I jump in with a question?
Did you submit it?
Who do we got right here?
Who do we have right here, RJ?
This
Finally.
is Drillface. Oh my
Probably
god.
can't see this far away.
The coolest toy of all time.
Which, by the way, this is not like a hint towards a spoiler.
No. We just really like this
We're just
toy.
so pumped up. This entire week, let's tell the story. The entire week has been this roller coaster up and down situation. Like, it was supposed to, I think technically it said that it begins shipping Sunday.
Yeah, the 8th, right? September 8th, yeah.
I think so. And then, like, I figured it would ship Monday. If we get lucky, maybe Saturday. Like, maybe we'd see it Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So Monday rolls around, no shipping notice.
The face is made of nightmares.
But Monday, shut up. Nightbird, who also came out same time, like same dates on there. Nightbird shipped out to me Monday. She got to me on Tuesday.
Nightmare face.
And then we're playing Wednesday, and I get to the store, and Archie's like, "Oh man, check this out!" And like, there's an email from Hasbro Pulse. But the twist was,
It said it was an important notification about your toy. So I thought it shipped. Did not ship. It was a delay in shipping.
and it said it would ship next week.
Yes.
Right. So Wednesday,
Why
like,
are you guys
instantly,
getting louder and louder? Nobody's talking over you.
Because we keep getting more excited. We're reliving it.
So
They had too
Wednesday,
many White Claws, Joe.
Wednesday, we're just like deflated. Like, this is terrible. This is god awful. But then I think I wake up like Thursday morning.
It was first thing Thursday morning.
like
yeah.
6 a.m. notification that like he shipped.
So now I have an angry email to write to FedEx because I got an email from FedEx that said, it was en route or whatever, right? And it said expected by end of day Thursday. It did not come Thursday.
And it was upsetting because in the past, like, sometimes I've gotten figures from Pulse before I get the email notice saying that they shipped.
I got my Omnibots before I even got any email like that. Right, yeah. My Omnibot showed up and then 2 days later.
And then, like, in case you watch this, Cameron. So,
Yes.
Cameron, you posted the live unboxing video the day before we record this. And, like, RJ and I were saying, like, Cameron got it. Why don't we have RJ?
But do not fret. We have them today. It is the best day of my life.
And now the big question is, how many more do we have to
Yes.
get? Like, we still have not yet combined them together. Like, we need a drill head wearing a drill head. But then we have to go further down that rabbit hole. Like,
Right.
a drill head wearing a drill head wearing a drill head.
I don't even know its real name. I just know him as Drillface.
Sorry, Drillface. My bad. My bad.
Drillception at that point? Right. No.
Drillception. Yes.
It must be nice that you guys even got your figure. Okay?
Oh, it sounds like there's a story there.
Yeah.
Impactor.
I didn't order Impactor.
You're bad.
You're making wrong decisions.
No information. Amazon goes, we'll let you know. Oh, thanks. That's the last I heard.
I will say,
2 weeks ago?
I talked crap on Impactor because I figured he'd be like really dinky next to Springer, but people who somehow do have him have shown comparison pics, and he looks pretty good next to Springer. A little bit shorter, but he kind of was in the comics anyway.
Which Impactor?
The deluxe one.
They're the same size, aren't they? No? The Decepticon ones will be bigger?
They're the same size.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the difference? Just the head, right?
And the
Any
logo right here?
insignias?
Symbol.
Just plate.
That might be it.
I'll find out.
Maybe.
Eventually.
Someday.
Okay, we digress. I'm sorry.
Okay, next up is from Sean Hamilton. Question is, can you make a Springer deck that works? RJ, thoughts on this one?
I made a Springer deck. The second part of the question did not work out very well. Did not work. I called it 1986. It was Springer RC and Cup. And it was awful. It was very blue, and it did not work out very well. I'm trying, though.
If we put our mind to it, maybe?
That'd be a fun challenge to do at some point.
He's tough, right? Because he's not...
Fun challenge? It
he's-
should be a challenge.
That'd be fun.
He's not specialized. He's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. You know, he has Tough a Million, he has Bold a Million, and he has Pierce
3?
Yeah.
2 or 3?
Something?
Yeah.
Somebody?
I think it's 3. It's something very low for the what everything
For the
else
amount of
is.
stars that he costs.
Yeah.
I think if Bashing Shield did not exist, a Blue Springer could be
He might be
really
unstoppable if Bash Shield didn't exist.
Right.
Like,
He was aimless before aimless was a thing, but
Yeah.
5 more stars.
And
or
with
whatever it is.
defense.
Right.
I briefly thought about doing Springer, RC, and Fireflight, which would put you at 22 stars and take 3 mounted
do
missiles.
you know any other character besides Firefly?
And
Fireflight and RC.
Fireflight and RC. Like, they come together. It's a
And also
package deal.
Springer. Because he could protect RC, and then you could either throw Springer out there to soak up some hits.
Springer Magnus, Springer Blitzwing, Springer something.
Kev, any thoughts? Springer?
Don't have them. That was one of the SRTs I didn't get.
Oh, you're not missing much.
Yeah.
Right, so that's why I wasn't worried.
Okay.
So, Sean, maybe I would like to return to that thinking. We've got some time before Wave 4 hits.
Yeah,
A
some
lot of time
cards.
before Wave 5.
Just, you know. Oh.
So next up is from Matifer. So check out his channel called The Jankyard. There's a lot of cool, like outside the norm type of decks. So question number 1 is, what is our favorite all-time board game? And will you do a live play? Let's say, would you do a live play?
Live play.
We can't
Do a
guarantee.
recorded play.
Okay, I get you. Would we do a recorded version of it? Okay. We'll go to Kev first. Kev, favorite board game?
Axis and Allies.
7 days later.
I mean, I like the anniversary version. That's what got me like almost back into gaming.
What's the shortest possible game month?
I mean, we could cut it after 6 turns, and it'd probably be like a 3-hour, 4-hour game. Just call a winner there. But I mean,
You guys used to do a yearly play of it on D-Day?
yeah, we did that at Steve's. Also, there was a board game group I was a part of. We played it every Thursday.
Oh, okay.
For until like either 6 turns or last turn started at like 10 o'clock, and then wherever you got to, that's where the game was.
That's the kind of game you need to set up and just play at someone's house and just leave it there and don't touch it for like days on end.
that's the kind of. I mean, you can get some games through if you have people who know what they're doing.
You show up.
Right. So.
RJ? Favorite board game?
All time. It's a big one.
I don't know. I don't know about all time. That's putting me on the spot. I'm really enjoying Splendor right now. A lot of fun. It's easy to play. I like Sagrada. A lot of fun. Easy to play. I like easy to play things. I don't know. You guys might not or might know this. I don't like to think a whole lot. I think I can kind of just turn my brain off and in play.
Slides are
He doesn't like to think a whole lot either.
Oh, people
Drill
might not
them
notice.
all.
If you like remove the drill, he's missing like half his skull. He has no brain.
What was it? They told me
Back
not to
to
be
drill
anything,
head.
so I became a drill.
Yeah, so that's what I'm working on right now.
Joe, favorite board game?
It's tough. All time, I don't know.
You are allowed to say it. It's the name of the game.
A fun game is Secret Hitler. We could attempt to do a recording of that.
I think people would like that. Like that would be.
I feel like you need a more interactive game to catch people's. Like you can't play like Clue, but like what's next? Come on,
Right.
Need something funny going on.
I feel like with Secret Hitler, you'd have to reveal, like, to the camera and have everyone else not looking so they know who's who.
Well, I
That'd
mean,
be fun.
they have that
Or no,
built into
don't
the
reveal.
game anyways.
Yeah, and let the people at
Don't
home
reveal
play
until
along.
the
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that's true. That's true. It's been a while since I've
That'd
played.
be fun.
That's true.
Try to let them
You at
pick.
home, whoever can guess correctly.
Yeah.
No, then it'd be a video. You can't do it.
Well, I mean,
It'd have to be live. Whoever can
we
guess
could
correctly
do that. Could
gets
be
an Omega Supreme.
his original, right? You know,
drill
his original
face.
question.
Not,
Whoa,
not
whoa,
not one of ours. Not one of ours.
Nope.
We'll buy another one. That we're probably going to do anyway. Buy another one. I want an army of them.
Yes. Army build, drill face. I think my favorite, I like King of Tokyo a lot. Like, it's quick, it's easy to play, it's easy to teach.
It's the one dice game you're good at.
Is the one dice game where I get good results. It's insane. When I do win, I typically win by getting stars. I like co-op games. I tend to prefer them over like head-to-head games. I like Thanos Rising, fun game, Marvel. Like Power Rangers, I'm a fan of that. I like to play that.
Yeah, that was a
bust
lot of
that out
fun.
soon sometime, and hopefully play it completely right this time. Okay, and question 2 is, what underplayed competitive super rare character from Wave 1, 2, or 3 might see playing Wave 4? You kind of hit on this before. I think Windblade has the potential to get better with each successive wave as we get more double pick cards.
Potential to get better, not get better.
Springer, if we see like a strong helicopter card, would be cool. And or truck cards.
Mm-hmm.
Are there even enough helicopters to go around to make a helicopter team? Is Alpha Bravo and him?
Bravo, we've seen on the box art, is Spinster.
That could be an action card, can it? Or just be any type of art? Or anything that's on a box is definitely a character.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I think every...
Because they did that in Destiny. Like, oh, look at the character. It was not the character. It was something else.
Well, they're having a figure coming out for Spinster, too, so...
So maybe Spinster. So 3 wide choppers and that's it.
You don't need 3.
They had Papa Wheelie and that's 4 motorcycles.
Right.
That's like a team. Like,
Right.
is 3 helicopters enough of a team to make a card for that?
Maybe.
Well, I mean, but you're also,
17.
we're leaving room for building
Right, in the future, right.
expansions too.
4 UFOs? Yeah.
So I mean, there's
4 spaceships for the UFO.
the next version of Alpha Bravo they come out with. So now you can run Alpha Bravo and Alpha Bravo.
Right.
Alpha Bravo. Oh my god, team of all drill faces.
Yes!
And then a support for cones or whatever.
Drills, Joe.
Yeah.
Just drills.
Drill support. Yeah.
Drill them all.
RJ, Kev, any thoughts there?
Characters
Super
with
rare
drills.
characters that could see more play?
I'm a fan of Magnus. I think he'll definitely see more play in the future. He's ranged.
Cog, if they come out with something weaponizer-ish.
Right, yeah.
Maybe.
King Starscream, maybe you think get some.
Oh,
more?
we can only hope. We can only hope.
Can we, though?
Yeah, we can. We're going to.
Fingers crossed.
I hate you guys.
I think his biggest issue is finding good partners, right?
I'm
So-
going to try him with Gen Prime, #1.
Okay.
We're gonna overthrow Megatron.
I thought of something maybe like Starscream, Hot Rod, and Flame War, and go blue, and then use Master Plan to stack the crowns because it's a blue card.
Okay.
They're all 2 of them are ranged, so you could go, with marksmanship, hovercrafts, keep it blue.
Yeah.
I mean, Battlefield Report.
And they get run over
Yeah,
by a
secret.
PTA, but glad I built this deck.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Thanks for bringing us down, Joe.
But he's a little bit better with the crowns, right? Because he gets +3, so only 2 goes away.
Yeah.
And then plus the blue on top of that, you're
Yeah.
flipping.
And then the Wheeljack is swinging for 90 anyway.
Gyro Blaster.
OPBL with 8 base.
Yeah. No, you need Security Council on Starscream, not Gyro Blaster.
Or Battlefield Report, like Kev said.
Or Battlefield Report, like Kev said.
13 stuff. Like once you hit 13, it's very hard to
Fair.
find.
Unless your name is Optimus Prime, apparently you can go anywhere.
Right.
I fit with Metroplex and I work great.
Next up
he's
is
my cyborg, Joe. Come back.
Next up is from Jake. So Jake is asking, do we think that swap parts should be unbanned, especially after the no more than 2 turns in a row rule?
I think WotC should test that first before they decide if something is going to be unbanned, because remember, they could see further down the line than we can. Something can be coming out that makes swap parts even worse than before. So I would trust their judgment. Do I personally think, with the information we have today, yes. I said it. And I'm still here. I'm sorry.
It's not. There wasn't always like the worst part of that infinite like combo thing. Anyways, like I know PTT was the bigger problem and issue with it, but we do have the watered down version with Quartermaster at least, so it's still sort of living right now in the game.
RJ, any thoughts?
I have a lot of them, so I'd like to see them unbanned, I guess, just for that.
You bought them all for a quarter, right?
So my heart says they should unban because when I keep on like chasing that dream of like switching hovercrafts or switching
cargo trailers,
multi-tool, something like that. I have done that actually.
It's Brian. You
have
have to assume there's something crazy.
I did that to get 3. Yeah, I've done that. But my head says no because I always chase it and it's a bad idea.
You do battering ram and cargo trailers to the next truck, to the next truck. Oops.
RJ, we'll let you take this one.
Yeah, this is from my buddy Joe Tonello. What do you believe is causing Decepticon-centered decks to fall behind in the meta to a lot of the Autobot decks?
3-word answer?
Yeah.
We'll say it all together.
Press the advantage.
Minions, yes.
Can we get like a little bouncing ball? Like sing along?
It's tough. If it wasn't green, it wouldn't be as bad. Right? A green pip.
Bad Attitude's not green, you know? What's the other Decepticon special card? Underhand Tactics is green. Like
Crown's green, though. It wouldn't be as bad if it wasn't a green pip, and you can call it on demand.
And it hurts, too, that a lot of Autobot teams are cars, and cars can have everybody untapped while you're all tapped out. So
and they can draw faster and dig faster for it.
Mm-hmm. And you get the -2 defense until end of turn. It's not just...
Yeah, the end of turn is rough. Especially when cars untap and keep attacking.
If it was one attack, like, it wouldn't be too bad. I'd also say maybe that in general, Decepticon decks, it feels like they're more skill intensive to really use them to the best of their ability, at least the stronger Decepticon characters.
What about should have been a star card and leave it orange, green?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's 3 in every deck.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's a little
maybe
too
2.
overbalanced, though.
Or if they're gonna run 3, then they have to sacrifice a
It's going to
lesser
cost them
character,
something. Right.
or something, right?
Petition.
I mean, if there's no green pip, it's essentially just another grenade launcher, right?
Yeah.
It's a leap into battle.
Just for
Autobots.
blue Decepticons.
Right.
Right.
Just for all, yeah.
Or just Decepticons. It's good to have that, like, 2 defense be 0 defense.
If someone's attacking bugs, it's like -1 usually.
Right.
Yeah.
But it can make a difference.
I've thought about running into my Decepticon decks just for the -2 defense, like you said. You don't have to give the +2 to an Autobot.
No, you don't.
I mean, hey, you can give it to their character. It's not like they're swinging at you.
Right, yeah, you can do that.
I've done that in the EIQ.
It doesn't say one of yours. One of your Autobots?
Yeah.
Well, then you can't give it to an opponent's Autobot.
Semantics.
I was gonna say I've done that in an EIQ where I didn't have any Autobots left. I forget what I didn't have any Autobot left, so I just played it for the -2 defense on one of his bugs.
Did it work?
I mean, I probably would have KO'd it no matter what because it's a bug, but
But yeah, all the bugs.
Oh no, I don't think I would have gotten there without it. So
Next up is from Tyler B. Tyler only played when Wave 1 was a thing. What's a good deck to get me back into the game with the new mechanics? Kev, any thoughts?
Maybe like General Optimus and Aimless with who we usually do Hot Rod. I think usually might be because you get practice with the focus. You get a battle master. They're usually blue, so you're doing like blue black. So you see the black pips in there. You know, see a lot of the new mechanics.
RJ?
Combiner team, especially if you haven't played since Wave 1, right? So you didn't get the fun of the combiners. Wave 2 was a ton of fun, I thought, with all the combiners.
That means he has Wave 1 security checkpoint, so he should play...
Aerial bots.
Don't tell me, tell him.
Aerial bots.
Joe, thoughts?
I was going to say aerial bots.
I think
Combiners are fun.
I think RJ's been running a team lately that would also work, which is General Optimus and then the Sentinel Ironhide, Sentinel Prowl. If you want like a version of that, rather than blue, you go orange.
Thank you, Carl. Techno Magnus on YouTube and the Discord, which I finally just got and learned how to work. That deck's a ton of fun.
And you can sideboard that into Sentinel Optimus, right?
Yep.
And be a combiner team if you want to. So that's kind of everything in one shot.
There you go, yeah. It's a great point.
Next up is from Chris S. I'm not going to attempt your last name. Sorry, Chris. Will you be covering more competitive breakdowns or the meta for new players? Joe?
We've talked
RJ?
so something that I personally wanted to do, and I think everyone maybe feels the same way, that none of us except maybe Brian are authors here and writers, so it's a little bit more difficult for us. But I've always wanted to try and start doing tournament reports. I just don't know what everyone wants to see, right? Like more away from the decks themselves, but just getting down there and meeting people. I think that would be really cool. But I know we have to do a lot better job of maybe putting our own decks that we're playing and we're having fun with on the website. I mean, we talked a little bit before this, right? While we may run funnier stuff, we generally do pretty well with it.
What's wrong with Ratchet's Repair Bay? What can I say? Not something to bring against Frenchie there. Yeah, I got you.
Back to your thing about doing reports. It's just in our area. So we all know what's going on in our backyard.
Right.
Unless people sit there, from Nebraska and have a 10-person EIQ and send lists of the top 8 and say, he played this guy, he played that guy, this is what happened here. Unless all that information is gathered, rather than just handing in lists. Yeah, these are lists. Who did you play? How did you play? Did it scoop to him? Did you draw intentionally? What happened? We need to see details. It's so much easier in the backyard. We know exactly what happened every match, and we can submit that. But if we're just submitting this little bubble in our area, is that really the meta? Just a meta for us, not for the globe. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of tough.
And what works here might not work in Australia. It
Right.
doesn't work, right? Or
all three of us have traveled. We went to Gen Con and Brian went to Origins, and I can't speak for Brian, but I've sat down across from a couple people and I just kind of went like, oh my god, what do I do against this deck?
Yeah.
Because we weren't prepared for it. We haven't seen it. So while we know what to do against our local area, we don't know what to do against you guys.
Yeah.
Shout out to like the Colorado guys.
Right.
Who just run crazy stuff.
Right.
Like it was OPBL and Novastar at Origins, and that's awesome. Blue Bugs did well too from those guys. Like,
so the meta is kind of like, I guess, a relative term, right? Like our meta is different than your meta. That's different than your meta.
I think, but that's kind of like what the question is asking, though, is if we were to do more like, okay, we have our weekly tournament, weekly report. How did you do? You can kind of maybe, and then you start getting that from somebody like the Colorado guys. If they were doing that too, then you start getting more of a maybe picture.
Right, but you need everybody doing
Right.
it. That's why
and
Origins and Gen Con, you go by the WotC reports there and see what those top 16, top 8, whatever those decks were. And that should be the meta based on those top players, because everyone sees those reports, they're going to start copying those decks and those lists and try to manipulate those and change those around. So those are going to be the two main focuses going maybe into PAX Unplugged, depending on what happens with Wave 4. Everyone's going to take those lists, they're going to try and sprinkle in some Wave 4 and go there. And some people are going to show up with some crazy stuff, maybe, and try to puncture their way through, like Kevin did at Gen Con.
Right. Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, top 4 in Gen Con was Kevin. He's from San Francisco. Brad's from Indianapolis.
I'm saying his deck.
Right. No. But that's what I'm getting to. It's all over. It's
Right.
the meta all over the place. Scott's from our area, and then Blaine. I don't know where you're from, but it's from all over. So we can only report on in our area, and I think that's what you were getting at.
I think there's an audience for that though. Like I think people are curious to see what's being played.
Yeah.
Well, if Kevin never ran that deck at any of his events and he kept it quiet, just played like at the kitchen table people, and he took it all the way to the top of Gen Con, that's unreportable.
Right.
We would never know until it's too late.
Yeah, I just think more like what RJ's saying is maybe not like we're saying this is the meta, but I think people are saying.
Did you just mock me? Was that what that was?
That was the people.
No,
That was like a voice of the people.
Right.
I think RJ is more saying what his suggestion is that he would maybe write up like, hey, we played Wednesday. This is what I played. I played against this first round.
I went 1 and 2. I went 2 and 3.
Right.
You know,
Just for your personal thing, do you feel it's a disservice to the people? Because it's like, I only have this small window of RJ.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I mean, you're also like you're giving like just your impression about the game. Like you can maybe ask them about the deck. You also said you want to make a more personal touch.
Yes.
Than, like, just robot my list, this list.
Right. Yeah, kind of like what worked, what didn't work, what I would change, I guess. Yeah, and yeah.
Game 2, I had a misplay where instead of putting the grenade launcher on Ion Storm,
So much information.
I went Armed Hovercraft and it pinged one, and then he used the Energon Axe. I should have gone grenade launcher, directed the damage.
I think there's an audience for it, definitely. I would maybe say like someone who does that a little bit. The guy who writes, I'm pretty sure his name is James. James, I think you also submitted a question here before. He does flip, bang, bang, which is a great. It's partially him like kind of theory crafting, but then he also like takes it to his weekly tournament and he'll kind of like talk about his matchups. So I think maybe a combination of something like that with how Stefan does like a player interview type of thing, and then how Vector Sigma also does kind of like an event recap, like kind of like maybe just a fusion of those things might be kind of neat to do.
Yeah, and just remember like this. It's a lot, right? It's almost like a full-time job. So we're trying, we're thinking of things. It's just it's a lot.
Joe, when are you going to start paying me to do
Yes.
As for meta, like if you guys have noticed, I don't think we've featured bugs in.
We do have a video idea for bugs though. Do we not?
Something's wrong with RJ. Somebody call
I
911.
think I know what RJ is trying to say.
Oh. Wow.
idea.
I had a lot of White Claw. We could try that. I don't know if that's going to be exciting enough, but yeah, it's something.
So I mean, when it comes to the meta, kind of what our thinking is that there are a lot of people out there who have gameplay videos and breakdowns of certain types of decks that are kind of like ubiquitous. They're out there a lot. So we just try to do the weirder stuff. And like I know you and I, Joe, Kevin, I can speak for you, RJ, you too. Like we like to experiment and try new things and come at the scene sideways rather than
Sideways, yeah. That's
Very rarely.
Stunticons for the win.
Well, I think all of us very rarely will we run a deck 2 weeks in a row, even at our local tournaments.
Right.
It's I think we like to have fun above all else.
Question 2. Will you be updating more decks for Patreon or the website? Thanks. You're welcome.
Next set of questions.
So we don't have a paywall for our Patreon, so we're not going to hide any deck lists behind there ever. So the website for the WordPress, I'm probably the main culprit on this one because during Wave 1 and 2, it's easy to throw up a billion decks, cover all different angles, and then when a new set comes out, it's actually pretty difficult to lay them all out and what goes here, what goes there. So I'm probably going to narrow some of those decks down and try to not be completely erratic with them and try my best to update them as best I can with Wave 3 stuff. And then I'm sure as soon as I finish that, Wave 4 is going to come out and I'm going to lose my mind.
But also, like, it shouldn't all be on you and your deck builds.
You
I'm
guys-
sure they want to see, a Brian build of.
I was going by what the
wanna-
updating.
they wanna
I'm the
cut.
one that
But
probably
they
hasn't
wanna-
done the most updating.
But, like, I think, like, RJ, myself, Kyle, we haven't put any of, like, our decks into the thing,
Well, then
too.
you don't update
So,
anything. You're good.
but we
I
should
know.
up, because people do actually want to see some of those things.
Different
as well,
viewpoints
so,
are better.
right.
Yeah.
Or, the Frenchy version of Metroplex. They
Right.
want to,
we
Yeah.
could structure that on the website. Like we could make so right now we just Joe's decks and like Joe's stuff is up there. Like we could have like a Wreck and Rule member page, like just kind of say, hey, here's Joe's decks, and then like click on a link for RJ's decks.
And message one of us if you see a deck list that
Yeah.
you think is outdated. Say, hey, are you ever going to update Metroplex? I'm like, oh my god, I haven't done that. And I'll see what I can do. And I'll type like this up here, and I'll try to update the deck.
He does type like
I
that.
do that all the time. Joe's finally picked it up. Yes!
But if nobody messages us, I'm going to assume that the Blue Stunnicon list I have up there is amazing.
Right.
No, it's not.
Have you considered changing this card?
Oh yeah. Why is this in your deck, Joe? That was from Wave 2 and I haven't updated. Thank you. I will change that.
But part of it too is that we're constantly tweaking it, so like it is difficult to keep that truly.
They're living decks. It's
I was-
not like
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know about you guys. I don't write any of my decks down. I'll take a picture of it and then I'll have to go back through my pictures and be like, oh man, what did I put?
Yeah,
in
I
my
don't
deck?
try to just put cards in and throw it on the thing. I'm going to play it a couple times against a couple different things, and then I'll put the list up that I think is acceptable in my brain.
We are trying to get better at, like, when we're done a video, trying to lay the cards out this way. If someone's curious in that moment, like, it's there, they can take a look at it. It's hard to always type that up.
Because you know it's going to change just like that when you
Right.
see all the changes that need to be made. Like, this card didn't work out. Why am I laying this out? This has to come out. Clearly it didn't work.
one week it's, hey, I'm gonna run this with Leap into Battle, and the next week, I'm gonna do Steady Shot this
Oh,
week
Leap was
instead.
the worst
And-
possible card ever.
Right.
Right at the
Not,
beginning.
not even the worst. Just as I'm making the deck, I'm laying them out. Going, why not do that card instead?
Right.
And then flip it out the next time because maybe I want the +1 attack instead
And then
of
someone
the
who
black
watched the
deck.
video like, why am I running Leaps? I'm losing all my games. It's
Right.
like, we didn't get to the steady shot part yet.
Right.
Sorry.
And then 3 weeks later, this team's awful. I don't know if I've ever.
We're
played
done with
it.
my
Forget orange repair bay. I'm
Alright.
gonna do blue now.
And that's it.
Well, that was quick.
It's probably like a 3-hour video.
We spent 45 minutes talking about drill things.
I had enough for an hour. Why?
So maybe we'll do. We might do one October. Maybe we'll see how October looks. Maybe. So keep your eye out for that. Possibly. Joe.
Why do you keep looking at me?
It's so weird to
There was
get
a-
used to it. Like it's.
It'll change. Good.
RJ, Kev, closing thoughts.
Yeah, I think you say it a lot. Tell us what you want to see from us, right? That only helps us. These questions were good. They want to see more deck lists. They want to see more meta reports, and so just keep telling us what you want to see from us. It provides us content to give you guys.
Yeah, and because we always forget to do it, I just remembered. We do have a Patreon. You don't have to donate to the Patreon. If you'd like to, you can. Biggest kind of cool thing we do with it is monthly at the $10 tier, you get cool tokens and stuff. So check it out. Link is there.
Instagram coming soon.
Frenchie was talking about starting one.
So if
Do
you
it on
guys,
Twitter.
I was gonna say if you guys like Frenchie, badger him to get an Instagram, so maybe he'll
Yes.
post pictures of himself.
He probably would.
Yeah, I know.
Flood Frenchie with messages. Do it. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.